Okie dokie. Let's get started. Just pause that for a second. Where's my intro music? That's way too loud. Okay. Oh, I'm out of focus too. What's going on? There we are. Hi. I'm Isaac and I am Shafted and we are live. And that's still way too loud. So today we're doing something a little different. And I hope that turns out okay. Let me know with the thumbs up if you want to see more live streams. So I've been feeling a little bit burnt out from game dev lately, and I didn't want to stop any kind of momentum. But how do you push through burnout and keep working at the same time? It's a tricky balance, and one I think I mastered a while ago when I was studying at uni, and then I went to work full time, but also studying my CPA, which is kind of like a master's for accountants, but not really. It was a lot of hard work. I found myself drained a lot of the time. Having to work 10 hours a day, then go into my office and study for at least 1 hour or more, it was a lot. But I found the best thing to do at the time was to set a minimum that I would need to meet every day. After that, I could relax or keep going, but it wasn't forced. As long as I stuck to my minimum, and I found having a goal and an endpoint to be a good incentive to break through the burnout and have, like a finish line that I could cross in order to be able to relax and do something fun. I think too often we push ourselves to work and never stop because stopping means you're going to fall behind, but you do need to take time for yourself. With game dev, it's a little bit different since I do enjoy it and I can do it for much longer without feeling like I'm burning out. The added benefit is that as a solo dev, there's actually many things that are quite varied. So my current strategy has been, when I'm feeling burnt out, I switch to the art, and in this case, making assets in Blender. It's slower paced and requires different thinking than programming. I try to work for at least 1 hour a night, and that's the goal tonight. I thought I could live stream as an added benefit. The last few weeks I've been looking at classic tech and recreating it in Blender, which has been really fun. So let's get into making a retro PC, the Macintosh. And we can pause this and go back to the other music. Nice and relaxing. There it is. Cool. Alright, awesome. Still out of focus, but that's okay. Where's my controller? We're gonna switch to desktop. And we've got my face down there, and everything is here. Awesome. Okay. It's a little bit difficult with the microphone in my face, but I'm going to do my best to sort of navigate around everything. Okay, I've got it all set up. You can't really see because I've set up all the reference images. So I wanted to do the Apple IIe or Apple II, but I found a real hard time to get references for it. And I do want it to be, as accurate as possible. So getting the references is always important to get the proportions right. I'm not worried too much about making sure it's like exactly to measurement. It's probably going to be gigantic given the size of this, like if I add a cube. So we're going to need one anyway. So the images are way too big, but we'll scale it down later, so that's okay. But I've got quite a lot. I got really lucky with this particular model, which is, it's not actually the original Macintosh, it's a Macintosh Plus. Looking at their images, they're not that different. So we've got this front, we've got all the views, it's actually great. I've got the back, I've got the top. I do have the bottom, but I haven't loaded it in yet. And obviously left and right are the exact same. So yeah, that's, like fully stoked for that. I've got way more. Where's my folder? Game assets. And then, see, I was going to do the Apple IIe. I've got a whole bunch of other ones, but maybe I'll throw in the profile later when I get closer to get the performance, to get the proportions a little bit better. And I do want to do the keyboard and mouse as well. So that's going to be fun. I can already see like there's a couple of differences, but we're not going to worry too much about that. Yeah, what else is there to look at? Oh, I found it really interesting. eBay seems to be the best place for these images. I guess collectors really care about making sure there's no damage. So, you know, they want the profiles front, you know, back, left and right to make sure there's no damage. But it's great if you're modeling something. Especially with things this old, it can be difficult to find good photographs of them. This one's from Adelaide, which is really interesting. Okay, so let's start. I'm gonna just, I think this is the one. I'm gonna make sure that this is in front and bring the opacity down. Ooh, that's interesting. I can see the back now. Axis aligned. Oh, wait, back, front. Okay, I think I did it. That looks better. Okay, so the thing I'm gonna do first is obviously just pull this into the right levels. I don't know if it like sort of tapers out naturally like that, or if that's just a product of the camera. I can't really tell. Hey Cairo, Ovo, and Dev Nugget. The chat's going to be a little bit behind what I'm doing because I've got a big delay. I've got shitty internet, so I'm not always going to be able to respond. So let's have a look. Just let's get down to here and scale out just on the X for now. Yeah, I'm having a hard time believing that it tapered like that. I don't know, maybe someone knows better. Let's have a look at this image again. I don't think it did. I think that's just a product of the camera. I might bring this reference in. Let's go reference eBay. No, what's this one called? It's called Profile. This one here. I just want to push this off to the side so I can see it on an angle and don't get tricked up by this camera trick. Boop, boop, boop. So I guess I'll just fuck. There we go. Got it. Make it straight again, just to be sure. Vertex. And go front. Just line those back up. Reset, because I don't really like that. It's tricking me already. Okay. So, turn off that. I'm going to put in a loop cut just for this bottom bit. There's not really a lot going on in the front here. So if I go to the left, which is good, it's good for us. Ooh, and now we're at the back. Front. Right. I'm gonna flip this reference. Ah, man, how do I do that? Mirror. Which one do I want to do? X. What if I just scale it in the Y? just turn it around. Yeah, it does. That's hilarious. Okay, that works. So go back around to the front and we'll just jump back into edit mode and we'll go back to the left. Oh yeah, cool. So, I mean, I guess it's easier if I just extrude, excuse me, this out. I might, because I'm going to want that cut in there. So I'll just do 2. So I'm going to need that eventually anyway. And then I'll just grab these 2 as well. Oop, miss them. And go back to there. So we've got like the regular kind of shape. Go back to the front. And we're sort of on our way. Nice. Okay, so I'm going to add another loop cut in for where we're going to do the floppy drive. And then I'll do one more for the screen. And I think I might start working on the screen first, since that's sort of easy. So we're just going to insert this face and just line it up here, and do my best to ignore the fact that it's not quite in line with this. Okay, so already looking at the kind of shape that this sort of tapers inwards, I'm going to inset again to roughly where the screen starts, and then I think the best way to do this would just to sort of pull it back a little bit to give you that kind of inward. We can make that a little bit more extreme. So that's your basic shape right there. And I'll leave that just as is for now before we get into the CRT curve. We don't really need to do that right now. Let's just get the shapes in place. Okay. So let's have a look at from the side. Just undo that. Bring this to the front and put some opacity over it. So left. Just bring this up so it's in line. I'm feeling a little bit more confident about the perspective of this picture, I think. I can't say for sure. But we do need to sort of like line it up. And obviously this is super easy, so maybe I'll start here. Left. So the first thing I do is just bring that down, because there's obviously a little bit of a taper after the screen ends in a downward fashion. And then we're just going to bevel to there, grab this edge and pull it down a bit. Nice and easy. Now the question is, at the back, was it straight or did it taper like the images? Looks pretty straight. Dude, I thought I had good references, but it looks like even though they're pretty straight on, they're not quite. Maybe this one's a bit more accurate in the end. It's kind of wonky, but it's not as dodgy, that's for sure. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, can I see, have I got another side picture? Not really. It looks pretty straight at the back. So, I do want to fix this. Just while we're still early in. Let's not distort the edges too much if we don't need to. Okay. this loop cut anymore. Don't need it yet. It's going to interfere with the next thing that I want to do. So, let's get rid of this. Just plonk it there. Good, good, good. Okay, obviously this is pretty straightforward. Just do a interesting. Okay, yep. It's hard to see on the side. Left. We're gonna taper that. I'm trying to keep this low poly, so I think I'll just do 3. We still sort of get the curve. Okay. So this one is also, but we'll leave that. Actually, why don't we just stick a bevel modifier on this so that we do get a little bit of that curve. That makes it look a little bit more. Just make it 2 segments. Oh, man, that looks fucked up, eh? But yeah, not looking too bad. Cool. But I think this edge still needs a bit. Oh, nah, that's all good. And I might just end up painting that on. Alright, well this is turning out alright. It's not too difficult, is it? Okay, let's try and figure out the floppy drive. So, it might be easier if I have a loop cut. We'll just make it in the center. And that way we've got a face here that we can inset. And then we can extrude it down. And then I don't know about this square. We might have to use a boolean to do it. That might be the easiest way, we'll see. So do that. Just pull it in a little bit. Then all we have to do is extrude inwards. Doesn't have to be too far, really, because I'm going to paint in there black, so you know it won't really be too noticeable. I don't think. Maybe push it back a little bit more. Let's see how far back we can go. Excuse me. How deep's a floppy drive go? I don't know. About this far. Okay. Should we try and add in a Boolean mesh cube? Give me this. Make it way smaller. Way smaller. Front. Just pull that in line. Might actually turn this off for a second because I can't see. Bring it back guess it's kind of, yeah, it is right at the start, eh? So I guess it would go there. And then you just pull that in. And then we'll add a modifier. Boolean. Object cube 2. And we're going to intersect. I'm going to take the difference. So yeah, just like that. And I'll just drag this over the top of our, ooh, that don't look good, does it? That looks like shit. I don't know if that'll stay. For now, let's just put that back there because it doesn't look very good. Okay, so now we have, it is more of a rectangle though, so I'm just going to jump back into edit mode and change this to be a little bit more oblong, as we say. Okay, cool. We can hide that now. Cool, so now we've got like the interesting little shape. We've got the screen. I think we can move on to maybe the top, because I know that there's some interesting geometry there that we need to work out. So this one we're going to bring to the front and do the same thing, drop the opacity down. And then once again, the perspectives kind of messing me up with these photos. Where's that other reference that we've got? I doubt that they had such an extreme taper towards the back. Here, I've got another picture. No, I'm pretty sure it was a perfect square from the looks of it. Yeah. Okay, so ignore that sort of perspective. And just do the best we can. Okay. From the left. From the top. So this image, we'll just have to shrink it down a bit because it is... Cool. Okay, so we need to figure out this hole. Maybe we do it with another boolean. I think that's probably the easiest way to go. I think maybe I can do a couple of loop cuts. Maybe we'll try that first. Just get really destructive, you know. And then we'll need one across the top. There. And actually at the back, let's have a look at the back. Just sort of see how far down. It's in line with the thingamajig. The bevel. No? Yes, that's what it's called. It's actually pretty interesting. It's how I got my name. Oh, my screen name, Shafmir. I often use, or in this case for this channel, Shafdev, when I was using a CAD program at school. I was misreading the word chamfer, which is basically the same as a bevel. So in this particular program it was called chamfer, but I was reading it as Shafmir, and yeah, people started making fun of me for that, for obvious reasons. And so I just took it on board and was like, well, that's just what I'm going to call myself. So now everywhere on the internet, that's what I'm called. Okay, I don't know what I'm going to do here. I guess I'll just delete them and then put the faces in. Yeah, let's just delete. Then grab these two. We'll turn on that. And extrude the z-axis to that depth, then extrude to here. fill in that face. Fill in that face. And that looks pretty darn good. I'm pretty happy with that. It's really cool. Yep. Yeah, that's pretty darn awesome. Cool, cool. Alrighty. Not bad, not bad. There's a bit of a lip thing going on. And I wonder if I should do something with that as well. Or I might just leave it for now. Let's just try and get the shape in. Because we're doing okay for the shape. Like, I think this, like, if you just colored this in, you know, excuse me, you could just really easily pass this off as something like a low level of detail. No one's going to know the difference. So I'm not going to do that. Let's look at the back. Okay, that should be pretty easy to do. So I'm going to grab all of these and I'm going to inset them. And then I'm going to have to fix up the bottom bit because you can tell, like, the back. This bit just goes straight down and it's a little bit thicker too, so let's just bring these in a little bit. That's probably good. And then I'm sure there's a better way of doing this, but when I've got this extra bit of geometry, I sort of just delete everything and then just sort of push that back. Just add a line. Turn off stepping. That's a little bit annoying.